Let's stick with pitching. If you happen to miss it, Tyler Glasnow was placed on the 15-day injured list because of lower back tightness. It was backdated to July 6th. That's not necessarily making much of a difference in this case, though, because the All-Star break is coming up. Glasnow was due to start the Thursday's game against the Phillies. He's obviously not going to happen. It's not happening now. Uh, Scott, what's your level of concern here? Glasnow does have injury history, but that's
Mhm.
always been elbow, forearm stuff. This is his first time with some back trouble. I know we were kind of texting about this beforehand,
Yeah.
and you seem to be on the more like, oh, this is all fine side.
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw somewhere that they're not even doing imaging on his back. Like this is not something. It's a perfect time. Yeah, it's a perfect time for an injury. Major League Baseball, don't come after me for this, but it's a perfect time for an injury to spark up. If it's something that's just phantom, we're gonna drop it out there. Yeah, my back hurts too, Mike. I was just telling my family about that, but it's the perfect time for something like that to happen. That you can get him an extra long rest. He's not going to perform and he's not going to pitch in the All-Star game. The fact that it just happened, he just pitched, you're able to get him some extra long rest here. And Dave Roberts immediately saying with a certain level of confidence saying that he'll rejoin the rotation right after the All-Star break. So this is a perfect time to phantom IL someone for an injury to spark up. And as long as it's not something with his arm, nothing on that front. If it's a minor back thing, I'm not concerned about it. My concern level is like 0.005 because I don't buy into it until we see some more. And Dave already giving a timeline on it and saying, we'll see how he feels when he wakes up. That gives me a very positive level of confidence.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. I think that's all fair. I know I did see obviously when the move was announced that the Glass now was going on the IL with some back trouble. There was a lot of skepticism online, and
Mhm.
that's fair. I think in years past, I think it still does happen. In years past, I think it was more rampant. Recently, I don't know if I think it was earlier this year. The Mets got in trouble for prior transgressions with kind of phantom IL stints and making
Yeah.
things up. So MLB is policing this stuff. I think though, when it's a back, that is easy to sort of mask because how do you tell? So, like you said, your back hurts. I'm sitting here right now. My back is a little achy. Like how
Yeah.
do you tell? Like you can have an achy back without any sort of structural damage, right? And you could do an MRI and nothing maybe will come up or not a whole lot will come up. So I think it is one of those things where it's like, hey, your back is a little sore. Let's take the break now. So I am inclined to agree that it is more that than any sort of like significant reason for concern with Glass now. All of that being said, what I still do find a little bit interesting is the timing of it because yes, he's going to get a prolonged stretch off with not pitching this week, and then the All Star break is next week, and then he can be back. What I'm going to be curious to see now is if the Dodgers don't try to basically bake in like another IL stint later in the year. Because I would have agreed, like if you had told me, hey, at some point they're going to put him on the IL just to give him a breather, I would have said, yeah, that makes sense. Probably in September, or maybe not September, maybe late August, early September potentially. If they have a huge lead in the NL West, they can kind of do it, get him a breather before the postseason starts. So now what I'm interested to see is this kind of, if they're looking at it as okay, this is the longest period he can get off
Yeah.
from pitching, so then we'll be good with this, or are they going to try and get him another break down the stretch?
Could be. Absolutely. Very fair point. With where his innings are at the moment, it's a very fair point. You don't need to expose him anymore right now. If he's looking like he needs a breather, give it to him. If you're able to do it within the rules and all things are clear there, it gives them another excuse or something else to spark up later on in the year where you manufacture these things in. So I think it's a very fair point. They're aware of the innings. They're aware of the workload. They're always mindful of an arm that's in that spot here, which is why they're trying to push some guys back, not force them out there. It's very uncharacteristic if you hear the Dodgers, keeping a guy on regular rest when they know their back's up against the wall on some of these inning things. They're very cautious with starting pitchers, very cautious with arms. And for the reason that they've always had, some depth within the organization to eat these innings, because at the end of the day, uh, a lot of these games they all matter because when it comes down to positions in the playoffs and standings and things like that, games do matter. But at the end of the day, it's not worth risking health of some of these arms to force them out there just for a game in July in the All-Star game. So I think, to your point, this gives them a great opportunity to give him some rest now and possibly later on down the season when he'll really need it, heading right into the playoffs where, by all accounts, like with anybody else, barring that or Yamamoto news, he's going to be the ace.
Yeah. You mentioned Glasnow's innings. He's at 109 so far this season,
Yeah.
which is its third highest total of his career. He set a
Mhm.
career high of 120 innings last year with the Rays. Other than this season, last year, the only other time Glasnow surpassed 100 innings in a year was 2018. That was 111 and 2/3. So he's definitely on track to shatter his career high mark, and this is
Yep.
definitely going to be the biggest workload he's had to carry. Um, I think what's encouraging is, so I know there've been, in terms of performance, there've been some bumps in the road, but for the most part, he's lived up to the billing. I know when the trade happened, you and Blake were telling us how he's an ace and this and that, and for the most part, I think Glasnow has certainly met those expectations, and he has stayed healthy. Uh, a subplot to all of this is with Glasnow going on the IL. Hunter Green was of the Cincinnati Reds was immediately named the injury replacement for him on the National League team for the All-Star game. Scott, my question to you is, what is it going to take for Gavin Stone to get some respect?
It's being who he is. There's going to be some more, some guys still opting out. Keeps coming down, and announcements of who's playing, who's not. We saw Rafael Devers from the American League go out. Some, Jordan Westberg. Position players aside, there will be arms that I forgot who just is pitching. I think Chris Sale. Sale's going, and then he's going to be out. So I don't know if they've named a replacement for him yet. So they're definitely Gavin Stone, for what he's done this year. He's been one of the most valuable starting pitchers in Major League Baseball, and that would be an incredible nod to him. I'm excited if he gets the nod there. It would be terrific if Glasnow, bows out, takes this break. Hunter Green got it. He's deserving. But it would be terrific if Gavin Stone is able to get that nod there, because he's done everything. He's pitched in big games against the Yankees. That was a big wow moment for me. I'm excited to see him in big spots down the stretch. But again, a lot of these guys are going up against innings limits, and you have to be mindful of it. I really want him to make it. Yeah, Matty, man, I'm with you. I want him to make it. Do I want him to pitch necessarily? I don't know. But it would definitely be an homage to, really where, all the work he's put in on and off the field and how he's performed this season. But I just know there's a lot. It's a loaded class right now.
Yeah, definitely. So we should have an idea on Stone by Sunday, maybe Monday at the
Yeah.
latest, whether or not he's going to be any sort of replacement to, like you said, Chris Sale's supposed to start. I think he started tonight, and then he's supposed to start again on Sunday. So if that ends up happening, then he'll be ineligible to pitch in the All-Star game, and so a replacement will need to be named for him. And maybe it's Gavin Stone, maybe it's not.
Yeah, and then people are saying, Wheeler. Wheeler is,
Oh, that's right. Okay.
after this, so it's going to be, he was named. So we'll see. There's going to be some replacements. So I think Gavin Stone definitely gets named. That's exciting. That's exciting stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And so the bigger news here, though, is that Glasnow is on the IL for now with some lower back tightness. He's going to get about 2 weeks off. It was backdated to July 6th. He's going to get about 2 weeks off anyway, just because of the All-Star break. He's only, as of now, he's only missing one scheduled start, which is this Thursday against the Phillies.
Yep.
Dodgers coming out of the All-Star break, they have a homestand. They started against the Red Sox, so maybe we see Glasnow back as soon as that.
Can I ask?